night out at Sammy's Italian restaurant, pizza joint in town here. It was fantastic. And Wayne, I understand you brought us some baked goods.
Yeah, Julie Larrivee made a brief appearance yesterday afternoon in Green Bay and dropped off some baked goods. Not for Wayne, but for the game.
What do we got?
For you guys.
Sweet.
Let's go to the bag of baked goods.
Let's go there.
Let's go.
Let's take a look at it. It's right over there on the counter. Can you reach that?
Oh, well, hold on.
Probably can't.
Oh, I thought we were losing all of it, Josh. I thought there was a chance we were going off air. No, I thought the whole Conrex was going.
Tim Scott has already gotten into the butterscotch bars.
Oh, no.
But the chocolate chip cookies are she's a great baker, and she loves to bake. And so she sent those up because she was worried you guys would not have enough sugar to get through the week.
Correct.
Oh, my God.
I don't know if there was enough cocktails.
Yeah, well.
I mean, not only –
Butchie, I didn't realize how hard we went last night until I got up this morning. You know, I mean,
The sad part is that's two
you
of
and
us
I
because
were
that
down
alarm.
pitchers of beer like they were 6-ounce glasses of water.
I woke up this morning and I was like, did this alarm really need to go off at this time? I was like, oh, boy.
Man.
Wayne, your wife is able to produce and package what looks like professional baked goods.
All right, well, give me a cookie then.
Look at how consistent look at how consistent the tone is on those cookies.
Well,
all of them very consistent in their cookedness, if you will.
Oh, and it's taped. Oh, my God.
And a very nice tin with a plastic dome on it.
Give me a cookie then.
Oh, my God. Butterscotch bars. Well, thank you very much, Wayne. We appreciate it. It was great to go to a real local state. My place was busy last night.
It was, yeah.
Packed on a random Tuesday night. So obviously it's well known in town here.
Yeah,
Sammy's.
no doubt. Sammy's right down on Oneida Street. Some of our crew actually walked over there from here. So which is probably about 3/4 of a mile.
That was dumb.
It was dumb. it was a dumb flex.
There's some physically fit people
These
here.
cookies are fantastic.
You know. Oh, she's great.
Oh,
yeah.
my goodness.
She's great.
Welcome to the cookie eating segment here on the program. Just Butchie eating
texture
cookies.
is great.
People are seeing on our YouTube right now. People are seeing Butchie eat cookies and Czabe's gut. So it's perfect. It's exactly what you want to see.
I forgot we were live and I was standing up
could
right
tell.
in front of the
Butterscotch bars. There they are.
All right. So let's talk backup quarterbacks, Wayne, because we talked about this last night over dinner, and I kind of busted Butchie's balls about who cares about the backup. And now, you made some good points last night about that time the Packers almost got caught with their pants down with no good backups. And it took Matt Flynn off the couch to save their bacon.
2013. And Matt Flynn came in. He had been a backup quarterback here, left for Seattle on a big free agent contract after the 2011 season. Didn't pan out there, went to a couple of other places. They brought in Seneca Wallace, and they had Scott Polzin, former Wisconsin quarterback, who was just a terrific guy and a terrific coach now, I think, with the Cowboys. But, neither one, within 2 weeks, they realized, we're going to lose this season because Rodgers had a collarbone injury. He was going to be out until at least the last 2 weeks of the season. So they call up Matt Flynn out of desperation. He's on the street. He comes in, engineers 2 or 3 wins, keeps that season afloat, and they end up in the final week of the regular season of 2013 in Chicago against the Bears with a winner-take-all for the division championship and a home playoff game the next week. And that was the famous Randall Cobb comes back from injury. Aaron Rodgers comes back. Rodgers and Cobb hooked up. John Kuhn made the block on Julius Peppers, and they beat the Bears.
Is that the one that produced the crying kid
It's Cobb
video?
Again. Yep.
It is. Okay, it's Cobb again. Yeah, classic. Now, you said that Ted Thompson's basic philosophy was, I'm not paying for a backup quarterback. Kind of like Butchie with fireworks.
Correct.
I ain't paying for fireworks. I ain't paying for a backup. You and I, Wayne, both agree that if you've got a potential Super Bowl team on your racket, so to speak, you probably should invest a couple $1 million into a guy who's played the position and can get you through 3 or 4 games.
Maybe as much as $5 million on today's quarterback prices.
Okay.
You might have to go $5 million to get a good one as a backup. There aren't that many good ones. But let's go back to Super Bowl 31. Who was the backup quarterback for the Packers when they won that championship? It was Jim McMahon, who won a Super Bowl with the Bears, won games with Philadelphia and Minnesota. I mean, he was an accomplished player at that position. That's kind of the theory that a lot of organizations have. The one thing I have always said, you can tell what your front office thinks about your team's chances of going all the way or potentially going all the way based on who's their backup quarterback. And there are exceptions to that rule, and Ted Thompson was one of them. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see as we go forward with this team where Brian Gutekunst comes down on that. But I think Brian would like to develop one of these two guys he has in camp right now, Sean Clifford or Michael Pratt.
Look at what Joe Flacco did last year for
Cleveland
Browns.
Yeah.
I mean, and he was also off the couch.
Czabe, they started 5 different quarterbacks. First team, I believe, in NFL history to start 5 different quarterbacks in a season and make the playoffs.
And make the playoffs.
Yeah. But hasn't it always been the Packers? Like, growing up as a kid, it was Brett, but you had Mark Brunell, Ty Depp. Like, you had these backup quarterbacks that always developed.
Yes.
And then you like, oh, my God. Like, we have so many players. And then Brunell went to Jacksonville and had a great career.
They get something for them, and that's kind of where
kind of same
Ron
Wolf
was like that.
Now, yeah.
Ted was kind of like that. But really, I think Brian is trying to do that
Get
with these young
quarterbacks.
quarterbacks.
Bit, right? That's what it feels like.
Draft a quarterback every draft. Draft him somewhere. I mean, this kid, Michael Pratt, there were, in the scouting reports, Billy will tell you, and some people had him as a 4th-round draft choice.
Yeah.
Well, the Packers get him in the 7th round. He got a lot of experience, started 4 years at Tulane, played for 4 different offensive coordinators. So this guy has a wealth of experience as he comes in here. The Packers are hoping they can develop one of these two guys and not have to spend the $5 million to bring a veteran in here when they're, but at any rate, they're hoping that, this thing will develop in a hurry. We'll see.
If I told you that Andy Dalton was still in the league, would you be surprised? Because I am surprised.
Is it with the Saints?
Not at all.
He's with the Carolina
Panthers. It is. I did.
Last year was. What are they doing paying Andy Dalton, Carolina Panthers? It's not like they're on the cusp of Super Bowl.
No, but they have. But here's the counter: is they have Bryce Young, who is young, and you have to get if he doesn't know it, right? I was just going to say, like, if you don't know if he's the guy, or if you see some areas of weakness, and he's your number 1 overall pick, you got to try to help him, and maybe that's what the money being spent there
Andy
is.
Dalton was in Dallas a few years ago as a backup to Dak Prescott. And Dak got injured, and Andy went in and started some games and won some games for him. So it's interesting. I mean, Czabe, what I'm saying is not one way to do it. I'm just saying that's kind of a theory out there that, you pay for an insurance policy in case your starter goes out so your season doesn't get totally derailed.
Right.
But, there are different ways of doing it. And I think what the Packers would like to do with this group, from what I can tell, Brian has got these young quarterbacks trying to develop them for 2 reasons. Number 1, to have a capable backup if something happens to Jordan Love. But number 2, they'll eventually peddle one of these guys and get a decent draft choice for them.
Yeah. Easton Stick is still the backup to Justin Herbert in L.A. for the Chargers, and that is a very thin insurance policy for a team that otherwise has all the assets to possibly go a long way. Aiden O'Connell, who was not good for the Raiders, is still there as their backup now to Gardner Minshew, who they're going to start this year at quarterback. It's a tough position to fill around the league.
Those are backup guys. I mean,
I know they're
those
backup
are the kind
guys.
of guys, Czabe, when you got a Super Bowl team, you bring one of those guys in because Gardner Minshew can get you a win or two.
You know who's backing up Mahomes now is Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy's shot.
Well, look what happened in Philadelphia when Nick Foles was the backup in Philadelphia. And they went to the Super Bowl and won it.
I know.
Different theories, but, it's interesting how these teams work.
Yeah. Mike White is backing up Tua in Miami. Oh, my God, the former Jet. It's a horror show. Let's move on. I want to talk about Jair. Let's talk about Jair for a second. Incredible talent, very well paid, but got loose last year at the end of the year with the stuff in Carolina and the coin toss and everything else. I respect how the Packers handled it, where they stepped in, they had to discipline him because they're like, look, we're running a team here. We know you're a star. We know you're a lot of money. But they didn't overreact to it, right? Which is good. They did not overreact. What are your thoughts on Jair? Just broad, open-ended question.
Mega Talent wasn't happy, especially with the defense they were playing the last couple of years. But, I thought the come to Jesus moment for him was at Carolina when he went out as captain, wasn't supposed to be out there. And then when they came home and Matt LaFleur suspended him for that game coming up. And by the way, that was an important game.
Yeah.
That was Chicago. Win or go home. Okay. So it's, hey, listen, it's easy to suspend a guy when you're playing, I don't know, East Carolina of Central Michigan. You know what I mean? That kind of thing on the schedule. But this was a big game. And so they suspended him. Message was sent. He received that message. And then the next week against Dallas in the playoffs, he was a different kind of guy. You could tell at practice that week, and you could tell the message was sent, message was delivered. And since then, he has been outstanding at all the OTAs. Minicamp, they actually gave him off, and that kind of thing. So,
is he a team leader? Would you say leader?
Boy, that's a great question, Czabe, and one that I would defer to somebody on the team to answer. But it appears to me, from a talent standpoint, yes, but I do think he does have influence in that room.
Right.
So in the cornerback room, I would say he's a leader.
We're talking about the suspension and how Matt handled that. That was kind of really one of the first put my foot in the ground and say, this is my team and I'm running it this way. And this is the decision that I've seen from Matt LaFleur. So how does that, at the end of last year, the way he handled that, carry over to this year? Because I think, especially with young players, they have to look at that guy as being the head coach and saying, okay, we can have fun, but when push comes to shove, like, he's going to make tough decisions. He's in control.
Yeah, I think that reinforced. But the whole season was that kind of an exercise. If you take a look at the way by the way, now this is just me talking, okay? I thought last year was Matt LaFleur's coming out party as the head coach of the National Football League. And by that, I don't mean to discount what he did in the previous years when they won 13 games, playoffs, and all that other stuff. But I'm just saying, and I said this to him earlier this spring, I said, that was one of the better coaching jobs I've seen in 40 years in the league. Because here you got the youngest team in the league. You start out 2-1. You lose 4 in a row. You haven't won a game in over a month. You got this team that usually those teams go down the water, right?
You're 2-5.
You're 2-5. You're going nowhere. And those guys just kept playing, and he kept them on the bit. They kept getting better and better. And when people around Jordan Love improved and started playing better, so did the quarterback, and they made their run. I thought it was just a masterful coaching job, and a big part of it was the Jair situation, because that was bubbling all season. They finally brought it to a head, dealt with it, and boom, by the playoffs, it was a different story. And, that young team had great chemistry. Those young guys all kind of bonded together, and they didn't know any better. When they're, what were they, 3-6, you said, or something like that?
2-5, I thought.
2-5. They didn't know they didn't know they were supposed to go into the crapper. They just kept playing and said, "Oh, we'll just keep going and we'll get better, and we'll see." They just relished competing each week, and they got better. And the more I talked to those guys, especially in the off season, the more I realized they had a pretty special chemistry. Now, that's the same chemistry they'd like to have this year. Will they? Every year is different. We all know that.
They weren't just not winning; they weren't scoring. Josh,
right?
You and I sat there in the stands.
We did. We watched that.
Right.
We were so brutal, Josh and I, with our low key snarkery.
Oh, people were getting annoyed.
People would turn around and look at us like, "Listen, we're here too, watching them not score points. Do you really have to be that way?"
Punt team's there. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
I think our phrase was, "Do you think we're going to touchdown?" No, I don't think we're going to.
Hey, we touchdown.
We touchdown. Yeah.
They started scoring. They started playing better at 2-5. Imagine it, but just hear me out. If they go 2-5, if they're sitting there 4-10, is Jordan Love the quarterback today?
Yes,
I think so.
Yes,
because they bought 2 years.
I agree.
But they bought 2 years of look-see with him.
But if it didn't go well, do you think he has a new contract today?
No, then he might have floated into Justin Fields territory. That awkward. Okay, what are we doing here?
So, but he didn't.
He didn't,
and they didn't. And no, I thought that was what they experienced as a young team last year, all of it, the ups and downs, winning a win or go home playoff game at the end of the season, winning a playoff game, going to San Francisco and competing into the fourth quarter the way they did. You just could not construct a better learning experience for a team. You just couldn't.
Correct.
And so we'll see. I think that's going to bode well for this year. That's why all of us are so optimistic.
All right, drinking that juice.
He's drinking coffee right now.
Oh,
good coffee.
Green and gold Kool-Aid right here, baby. Send me a life preserver. I'm drowning in green and gold Kool-Aid.
What store is that coffee from, Wayne?
This is from Quick Trip.
That's right.
The best. Right. Our coffee here in the house is what, Butchie?
From the tap.
Crap.
I don't know if it's
crap.
Good.
It's crap Twick.
I'll take a drink.
Crap from the tap
trip,
right there.
Crap from the okay. All right. Wayne brought the baked goods. Can he bring the banger today? That's what we need.
Let's go.
Do you have it? Do you have it? Have you?
I've got a banger.
Yep. We got it.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We can't wait. Wayne's banger coming up next. You're listening to Czabe and Butch in the Morning from Training Camp 2024.
Thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening me.
So what, you're just going to put your iPod on shuffle?
No, but I could. You want to know why?
Because every single song you own is a banger?
Every song I download has to pass a series of rigorous tests to answer one simple question. Is it a banger? How many beats per minute? How many drops? How dope are the drops? Were any acoustic instruments used? If so, it is not a banger. I once accidentally downloaded a Lumineers song. I had to throw away my whole computer just to be safe.
Oh, yeah. What do we got, Wayne?
Highway Star, Deep Purple off the Machine Head album, 1972. It still rocks.
Wow.
Let's
Turn
go,
it up.
Wayne.
Wow. He got one.
He got one.
He got one.
Yes.
Classic. So, are you a big fan of Deep Purple, Wayne?
Yeah, I mean, when I was in high school, they were
it.
On that same album, Highway Star is probably the best song, but the big hit off of that album was Smoke on the Water.
Yeah,
and that's the one
slow.
that everybody who learns guitar apparently learns that song first.
On the water.
Yeah.
Bow, 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 bow,
Ian Gillan solo. He was the lead vocal. Richie Blackmore was the guitar. Roger Glover on bass. Ian Pace the drum, and the late John Lord, unsung hero on this particular cut. He played the organ and keys. It was just a classic. It really was. And I got to tell you this story. My youngest son and I, Brian, this is 15 years ago. We're walking along at Summerfest. And this is the Miller Lite stage. And it's just an open stage. We're walking along the midway. All of a sudden, I look over and I see Deep Purple. And, there's some people around. They start rocking it out. We stood there on the top of a bleachers watching them the whole time. It was the best concert I've ever seen at Summerfest, including McCartney.
Wow.
And it was just it wasn't on the big stage.
I know.
It was totally free.
What year was that? Do you remember?
Oh, gosh. It had to be
estimate.
2009, something like that.
So Deep Purple was still around in as late as 2009.
Oh, yeah.
Reduced, obviously, to playing the side stages at an outdoor festival. But still, it was better than not being Deep Purple. It was better than sitting at home saying, remember when we were huge in the 70s and we had all the women and all the drugs and all the money?
Yeah.
That's why bands keep going.
It was
That's great. So you saw them in 2009 at Summerfest. Look at what a pro Butchie Wayne is, that he's got all the backfill details without even having to be coached on it to give the full bodied rendition of his banger.
I thought the list he had was going to be from Packer training camp. Instead, it was your banger.
Oh, gosh,
let me be the first, Wayne, to say.
And there is your banger.
Yeah!
Wow.
Boom.
Boom, exactly right. Song BPM says, key of A, 6 minute and 9 seconds, Highway Star from Deep Purple. It's 174 beats per minute, so it moves. And it is a song. They don't say what kind of song.
It is a song.
High energy, but not very danceable. But I think it's an absolute banger. So what are they saying on the talking text line? Janny R, classic banger. Wayno for the win. I saw Deep Purple a few years ago at the Riverside. Excellent, and they are loud. Well, yeah, the older bands make up for their declining skills with volume.
Yes, they do.
Right, KB? You can always get better with volume.
Shot at KB?
No, it's not a shot at KB.
Sure felt like one.
It's not, because KB's sitting right next to him. But it sure did sound like it.
No, KB's been nodding his head silently as Wayne was talking about Deep Purple.
All right.
Yeah, but if you're not in the room, it sure did sound like that.
That was not a shot at KB or the Dungarees. It was just an observation about bands. Party on, Wayne. Great banger, says the 920. Antoinette from Watertown. Hell yeah, Wayne. Great banger. James in the 920. Crank it up. Banger. 1972, Let's Effing Go. Awesome. Banger. says Justin and Nina.
What is this? Does this get 90%?
Brian in West Dallas. Now, I'm not a homer, but the man knows how to pick a dagger banger. Way to go, Wayne.
Jeez.
Solid pick. 8 out of 10, says Ryan in a car. Definitely a banger.
So
Nate
proud of you,
in
Wayne.
Racine. Nicely done, Wayne. Sheila in
I'm
Milwaukee.
Start crying.
I love that one. I love that one, but also I love the boys are back in town. So about 15 or 16 years ago at Summerfest. So, yeah. All right. There you go. All right. Wayne, I don't know if, Josh, you can play the bite I sent you during the break. I don't know if we have time for it today. Somebody on TikTok found a clip of you with Harry Carey.
Yeah, we don't have time.
At a Cubs at a Cubs game. You remember that moment?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll play it tomorrow.
Well, there are many of them.
Because we don't have time. There's probably many of them. I want to hear your recollections of Harry Carey.
Oh, sure.
The great Harry Carey. Because he was.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that was good. All right, today at practice, we'll see you out there.
See you out there.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Very good. Thank you, Wayne Larrivee.
Thank you, Wayne.
Don't forget, if you're stuck for food today, Quick Trip has you covered there. Quick Trip takeaways are delicious, never frozen meals, ready to go for you or your family. Over 30 varieties available and new ones being cycled in all the time. Go to Quick Trip today to get your delicious food for dinner. Also, Iron Jock wants you in their gear, the best, no stink, comfortable, lightweight, breathable, high-tech gear for workouts and just casual wear you've ever seen. Go to ironjoc.com. And right now through August 4th, when you buy just $50 or more of the best performance apparel on the planet, take 20% off the entire order with promo code 20TOWEL. And they will send you one of their highly reviewed towels for free. Many, many uses, golfing, working out, spills in the garage, you name it. 20TOWEL, your promo code for Iron Jock now through August 4th. Butchie, we made it through another day. Hallelujah for that. The party continues. 9 to noon is already camped out under the awning at the 50-yard line, or the, not 50-yard line, but between the two fields out there at Nitschke Field. And the boys will be at it again today. So Kuhn and Billy, tag, you're it. We got a cookout here today for media types, sponsors, whatever. Brats. Do you like brats, Butchie?
Today's my one brat in 3
and
weeks.
Tomorrow we're going to have brats as well.
How's that omelet station coming along?
Still no omelets.
Okay.
But we got cookies.
But we got cookies.
No omelets, but yes, cookies. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a great Wednesday, and we will see you tomorrow.
Same as it ever was.